blood, betrayal, and deals that could destroy empires. Landman season though is back, and nothing is off limits. Every handshake hides a threat, every smile masks ambition, and every inch of land comes with a price you might not survive paying. This isn't just about drilling for oil, it's about survival in a world where power is measured in land deeds, secrets, and the people you're willing to burn to get ahead. Strap in, because what comes next will test loyalty, courage, and the line between ambition and obsession. If you think the first season was intense, you haven't seen the storm coming. The moment Landman walks into the boardroom, the air changes. The kind of silence that could choke a man without a single word. Eyes follow him like predators sizing prey, and he doesn't flinch. He knows the stakes. The land deals, the mineral rights, the oil that could make or break fortunes. None of it is just business. It's war. Every handshake, every document, every verbal agreement is a calculated move in a game where the wrong step could cost millions, or worse, lives. He doesn't just negotiate, he anticipates, manipulates, and dominates, and everyone in the room knows it. The first person to break under pressure isn't Landman. It's the ones who thought they could outsmart him. In the oilfields, the real work happens far from these polished rooms. Crews sweat under a merciless sun. Drilling rigs tremble with the weight of ambition, and Landman watches it all, mentally mapping the chaos into opportunity. Every well drilled, every acre claimed, every contract signed is a piece of a puzzle only he can see in its entirety. He's not just chasing profit, he's chasing control, a legacy written in pipelines and shell. And as season though opens, the stakes are higher than ever. Competitors are sharper, investors are ruthless, and old allies have new agendas. Trust is a currency as rare as oil in these parts, and Landman knows that one misplaced loyalty can unravel everything he's fought to build. But beneath the steel and dust, the personal stakes are no less brutal. Landman's enemies aren't just boardroom sharks or rival oilmen. They are ghosts from the past, mistakes he thought he buried, threats that have been waiting patiently for a crack in his armor. Every call, every message, every fleeting glance could carry warning. A hint that someone knows too much, that someone is playing a dangerous game only Landman can survive. And surviving isn't just about outsmarting others. It's about knowing when to fight, when to back off, and when to strike before they even realize they're under attack. This season, alliances are forged in fire. Deals are made with blood and broken with precision. A single miscalculation could ruin an empire, and Landman knows it. He moves like a storm over the plains, calculating, measuring, and manipulating every variable in his path. The rival companies have new CEOs, hungry for leverage, ready to exploit any weakness. But Landman has learned the hard way. Power isn't just about owning the land, it's about owning the narrative, controlling the flow of information, and predicting human nature with surgical accuracy. And then there's the human cost. Every decision echoes in lives, the families of workers, the desperate towns depending on oil jobs, the investors betting everything on the next big strike. Landman walks a thin line between ambition and morality, constantly aware that one wrong choice could turn allies into enemies, friends into casualties, and wealth into ruin. And this time, season though throws more at him than ever before. Legal battles loom, secrets surface, and the shadow of past mistakes threatens to consume everything he's built. Even in the quiet moments, there's tension. A phone call in the dead of night, a visitor in the wrong office, a ledger showing discrepancies, each carries the weight of a gun waiting to fire. Landman doesn't just react, he anticipates. He doesn't wait for the storm, he steers it. Season though isn't just a continuation. It's a deeper dive into the mechanics of power, the psychology of survival, and the unrelenting pressure of a man who cannot afford weakness. Every word spoken, every decision made, every glance exchanged is a calculation. And as the series unfolds, you'll realize there's no room for error, no sanctuary from ambition, and no one in the Oilfields untouchable. The tension escalates when old rivalries flare. Former friends now see him as a threat, competitors pretend cooperation while plotting sabotage, and insiders play a game only Landman fully comprehends. Every land deal comes with secrets buried deep, and every signature could be the one that sparks a chain reaction of betrayal. And through it all, Landman moves like predator, sensing vulnerabilities before anyone else sees them. He's not just surviving, he's orchestrating, controlling, and, when necessary, eliminating threats with the cold efficiency of a man who has nothing left to lose. By the end of this opening arc, the audience understands one thing: Season 2 is bigger, darker, and more dangerous. The Oilfields aren't just full of machinery and men. They're arenas where ambition, greed, and loyalty collide violently. Landman doesn't just want to win. He needs to dominate, survive, and outthink every player who dares cross him. And as the first 50 minutes tick by, you'll feel the pressure building, the stakes climbing, and the shadow of disaster looming over every acre, every deal, and every human life in his orbit. Season 2 promises more than action. It promises suspense, strategy, and the harsh truth that in this world, only the ruthless survive. The phone rings in the dead of night, piercing the silence of Landman's office. It's not a friendly call. It never is. On the other end, a whisper of chaos, a tip about a rival attempting hostile takeover of leases in the Midland Basin. Landman doesn't flinch. He knows exactly what's at stake. Thousands of acres, millions in potential oil, and the fragile trust of crews who are counting on him to keep them alive and employed. Every decision he makes is now a balancing act between ambition and survival. A single wrong move, and someone will die, someone will lose everything, and the empire he's building could crumble before it even reaches its full potential. He moves with precision. Calls are returned, alliances tested, and threats countered before anyone realizes they're under pressure. Every boardroom he enters, every handshake he exchanges, hides a hidden layer of strategy. Competitors have sharpened their claws, and some are willing to break laws, skip ethics, and gamble with lives just to claim what they can't earn. But Landman plays a different game. He doesn't just fight. He anticipates, manipulates, and sets traps that only someone with his experience could execute. The Oilfields are more than machinery and dirt. They're battlefield, and every acre of land is a weapon. Meanwhile, tensions at the field grow. Crews whisper about missing equipment, unexplained accidents, and sabotage. Landman senses the unrest and knows that discontent can escalate faster than wildfire. He walks the rigs himself, inspecting work, assessing the mood, and asserting control without appearing heavy-handed. The men and women under his command respect him because they know he's not just about profit, he's about survival. He's been in the trenches, seen the explosions, endured the burnouts, and understands exactly what it takes to keep a drilling operation alive while making the ruthless deals necessary to stay ahead. But even as he stabilizes the operations, the legal threats loom. A rival company's attorney sends over documents hinting at violations, trying to corner Landman with technicalities and red tape. He reviews them, methodically picking apart the language, identifying weaknesses, and plotting countermeasures that will turn the pressure back onto his adversaries. It's a chess match played on multiple boards, all, law, and human psychology. Every sentence in a contract, every clause in a lease, becomes a weapon, and Landman wields them with the precision of a man who has spent years learning that these stakes are always life and death. Meanwhile, a mysterious new player enters the landscape. A consultant with connections in the Permian Basin, whispered to have ties to both government regulators and underground syndicates. No one knows whose side they're really on. Landman watches every interaction, every move, with the eyes of a hawk. This isn't just business venture anymore. It's a war for dominance, and the people around him are either pawns or threats. Even allies have hidden agendas, and in this world, ignorance is a death sentence. Amidst the chaos, personal relationships fray. Landman's closest confidants begin questioning his judgment, testing boundaries, and secretly weighing whether to stay loyal or cut ties. It's a constant reminder that in the oil business, trust is fleeting. Landman navigates these waters with calculated charm, knowing exactly when to push, when to yield, and when to strike. One misstep could alienate allies, create enemies, or expose vulnerabilities that the competition is eager to exploit. Financial pressures mount, too. Investors demand results, drilling operations push budgets to the limit, and every setback threatens to unravel the fragile equilibrium he's established. A single blowout, a delayed lease acquisition, or regulatory investigation could wipe out millions and destroy his credibility. Landman doesn't panic. He thrives under pressure. Each problem becomes an opportunity, each threat a way to consolidate power. The Oilfields are his arena, and he plays the long game, one calculated risk at a time. But there's more than just strategy and money at play. Human lives hang in the balance. Crews are overworked, rigs are dangerous, and every day is a gamble with fate. Landman's moral compass is constantly tested. Does he push his workers harder to secure a deal, knowing it could cost them, or does he pull back, risking profit and influence? He has learned the hard truth. Leadership in this world demands sacrifice, compromise, and the ability to accept that sometimes winning comes at an unbearable cost. By mid-season, a series of escalating confrontations begins to take shape. Sabotage, threats, and manipulation intensify as rivals try to undermine him. Leases are threatened, equipment is tampered with, and the political landscape grows more hostile. Every phone call carries tension, every meeting is laced with risk. Landman's instincts are razor-sharp, and his ability to predict outcomes separates him from everyone else. The audience sees him maneuver like a general in a battlefield, using alliances, deception, and sheer intellect to stay one step ahead. In the shadows, secrets emerge. Deals made in confidence, betrayals hidden in whispers, and a past mistake that could unravel everything. Landman must confront not only external threats but internal ones. Those who once claimed loyalty now question motives, and the delicate balance of power teeters on the edge of chaos. Every action is magnified, every decision scrutinized, and the consequences are far more than financial. They are personal, emotional, and potentially deadly. Season though is relentless. Stakes escalate with every passing day, showing the harsh reality of the oil business and the personal cost of ambition. Landman is not just surviving, he is orchestrating a symphony of control, power, and influence, where failure is not an option and every victory carries a shadow of danger. The tension builds, suspense mounts, and the audience is drawn deeper into a world where loyalty is fleeting, greed is ruthless, and the price of mistakes is higher than anyone could imagine. The cracks in the empire start to show when Landman uncovers a leak, someone feeding information to competitors. It's subtle at first, a misdirected email, a conversation that seems too well-informed, a contractor who suddenly vanishes. Landman doesn't panic. He watches, observes, and calculates. He knows that in this world, loyalty is a fragile commodity, and betrayal can come from the most unexpected corners. Every interaction becomes a test, every handshake lie until proven true. He begins a silent hunt, moving pieces quietly, subtly, so that by the time the traitor realizes he's been exposed, it's already too late. Meanwhile, the pressure in the oilfields escalates. Rigs are pushed beyond their limits, crews grow exhausted, and every accident, every mistake carries not just physical risk but financial and political consequences. Landman knows the stakes. He's been there before. He's seen the explosion that could wipe out a week's worth of work, the lawsuits that could ruin an operation overnight. He walks among the workers, not as a distant executive, but as someone who understands the machinery, the danger, and the sweat it takes to keep the wells producing. It's a careful balance of authority and presence, showing that he is in control but not removed from the reality of life on the patch. The legal threats grow more sophisticated. Rivals hire teams of lawyers, digging into every possible violation, trying to create an opening to strike. But Landman is always several steps ahead. He studies every document, every regulation, every loophole with the intensity of a man who knows that one misstep could destroy everything. And yet, he uses these pressures to his advantage. He turns investigations into leverage, threats into bargaining chips, and disputes into opportunities to consolidate power. In a world where lawsuits are weapons and contracts are shields, Landman's mastery over both sets him apart. Then come the personal attacks. Landman's enemies begin targeting his closest allies, testing their loyalty, their patience, their fear. It's no longer just about leases or wells. It's about power, influence, and survival. Friends are forced into impossible positions, family members become collateral in war that Landman didn't start but is determined to win. The stakes are no longer abstract. They are intimate, emotional, and dangerous. Every interaction carries weight. Every conversation has hidden meaning. And Landman knows that to succeed, he cannot afford weakness, hesitation, or mercy. A new adversary emerges, a competitor whose wealth and connections rival Landman's own. He's ruthless, charismatic, and willing to do whatever it takes to gain an advantage. Their interactions are charged with tension, every meeting a test of wit and nerve. Landman doesn't just compete, he studies, analyzes, and anticipates. He knows that this is more than a rivalry, it's a battle for control of the region, and the loser will be remembered only for failure. Each strategy, each move is designed to manipulate the opponent into making mistakes while maintaining the illusion of composure. The media begins to sniff around, drawn by rumors of disputes, sabotage, and massive deals in the Permian Basin. Landman understands the power of perception, that reputation is as valuable as oil itself. A single misquote, a misrepresented event, could destroy years of work. He carefully controls information, leaking only what benefits him, steering public opinion, and using the press as an unwitting ally. It's a game of shadows, deception, and influence, and Landman thrives in the grey spaces where others stumble. Financial pressure mounts simultaneously. Investors grow impatient, demanding results as costs rise and the timeline tightens. Landman manipulates resources with surgical precision, reallocating budgets, renegotiating contracts, and securing funding in ways that leave competitors scrambling to keep up. Every dollar is a tool, every asset a potential weapon. He balances the scales between risk and reward, always aware that a single misstep could erase profits, destroy credibility, and give his rivals the upper hand. Even as the tension escalates externally, Landman faces internal conflict. He questions the morality of his choices, the lives affected by his decisions, and the human cost of his pursuit of power. Workers, families, and allies are caught in the crossfire of deals, sabotage, and ambition. Landman's inner monologue reveals a man who understands the fine line between ruthless pragmatism and moral compromise. Every action he takes is weighed not just for financial gain but for its impact on human lives, loyalty, and legacy. As the season progresses, old alliances crumble and new ones form. Betrayals surface with shocking timing, forcing Landman to adapt constantly. Rival allmen and business partners test boundaries, regulators threaten penalties, and criminal elements lurk in the background. Landman's ability to maintain control over this volatile ecosystem becomes the true measure of his power. Every negotiation, every confrontation, every calculated risk is a step toward dominance or disaster. By the midpoint of season though, the audience realizes that nothing is predictable. Friendships, deals, and loyalties shift like quicksand. Landman's strategy is multifaceted, balancing financial gain, human emotion, and raw survival instinct. He maneuvers like master tactician, anticipating attacks before they happen, countering threats before they materialize, and ensuring that the empire he's building remains unassailable. The tension never eases, it only tightens, drawing the audience deeper into a world where ambition and danger collide at every turn. The beauty of Landman's story is in the complexity. It's not just oil, money, and land. It's about human nature, the corrupting power of wealth, the fragility of trust, and the relentless pressure of maintaining control in an unpredictable world. Season though takes these themes to new heights, showing that even the most calculated, disciplined man can be tested in ways that money and strategy alone cannot resolve. Every chapter, every interaction, every secret has consequences, and Landman navigates it all with a blend of cunning, foresight, and the occasional ruthless strike that reminds everyone why he is the last man you want to cross.